Sorcery Contested Realm's newest set, Arthurian Legends, has been out for only 2 weeks now. We have discovered 14 curios in the community, and now we're looking to find the last ones. Which will the next 4 curios be? And will there even be 18 in Arthurian Legends? Come along for the ride as we show you all the 14 curios found so far, and maybe where to look for the last ones.
We presume that Arthurian Legends, just like Alpha and Beta, is going to have 18 curios. So in order to predict why the last 4 curios in Arthurian Legends might actually show up, we've been looking at the Alpha curios, the Beta curios, in order to predict just what cards we might be looking for in order to find the last missing elusive curios. More on that later on in the video. First, we have something else for you.
We also wanted to take this opportunity to just briefly comment on both the Gilded Elvira cards, but also the curios and their rarity, because they are still extremely rare and a very hard pull. Roughly right now, we estimate that it is around the same pull rate as in Alpha and Beta, which was 1 per 50-ish boxes. Just slightly changed because the boxes are smaller now.
And you also do need to remember that when you see people posting their epic pulls online, you only see the best of the best, the creme de la creme. That doesn't mean that you have opened a bad box because you didn't pull a gilded card or curio. An average box of Arthurian Legends is going to net you around 4 to 5 of the true uniques, and then you get around 6 foils. Those foils are just a cherry on top. If you get them on cards you like, good for you. And should you be lucky enough to get them on a unique card, you have hit the lottery, because that is extremely rare. Don't expect to get a unique foil when you open a box of Arthurian Legends.
And again, don't get us wrong, we would also really love to pull a curio or a Gilded Elvira card. They are beautiful and amazing chase cards, but we don't go into a box opening with that expectation. We want to find stuff that we're missing for the collection. We want to find cards that we use in our decks. So not necessarily going in there with that expectation really helps improve the experience of the box opening. Which also means that we're trying to open a range of boxes, and no matter what kind of pulls we get in those boxes, we put them on the channel, because we want to show the full range out there of the average boxes, the good boxes, and the really cool boxes, to give people a reasonable expectation rather than all these photos of all the epic pulls, because not every box is going to be like that, and in fact it's going to be the rare box that has this godlike quality of having all the amazing pulls.
Indeed. Don't be sad if you don't pull a curio or chase card. They are indeed chase material, and you need to open a lot of boxes before you might be lucky enough to hit one of those.
But let's check out all of the curios found in Arthurian Legends so far. So we're just popping in with a quick question, because we really love to engage with you down in the comment section. What has been your favorite way to sort of engage with Arthurian Legends boxes so far? Has it been sealed? Has it been draft? Has it been playing some constructed? Or are you just in there to really collect all of the set, and then you're going to brew some decks later on? Let us know down in the comment section.
We're now going to show the 14 curios found so far. And do remember that the numbers pulled that we're also showing on screen is at the time of this recording. If you want to have a live tracker on the curios found so far, you need to engage with us in our Discord, where we're keeping a tally and updating regularly.
First curio found in Arthurian Legends was the Green Knight. This Green Knight has an old art version, which is done by Melissa Benson. It's a really cool and beautiful old art curio, and so far we've found 11.
Next up is the Weightless Squire. And the order of the curios that we have in this video is the order in which they were actually found and reported to us. The Weightless Squire has its text lifted up, just like the card is lifted up on the art. And all of the squires have this little gimmick where the text and the art is mirroring each other. So far, 5 of these have been pulled.
The next curio to be found was the Wizard's Den. This is a really cool thing because we got an entire new category of curio. This is an alternate language curio, so the text is no longer in English but rather in Japanese, which is really cool to see. And so far we found 9 of this particular curio.
The 4th curio ever reported was the unpainted Unsilly Cord, and this card has been pulled 12 times. Also do note that a high amount of times this card has been pulled is also showing that this is a much easier curio to find, because it doesn't resemble any other card that you might find in Arthurian Legends, and therefore it's much easier to spot.
If you're getting any value out of this video, please do smash the like button and consider becoming a subscriber. And if you want to support us just a little bit further, you can support us on either Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. Everything is linked down below in the description. Thank you.
Next curio is Side Trolls, and that's because this is actually a side format in the art. The art consists of 2 giants, Blunderbore and Rebex. And this might have been sought out to be a site at one point, because if you turn the card around you can see that it says Atlas on the back. And in total 7 of this curio has been pulled so far.
And the next curio pulled was Broceliande. This is a beautiful side curio, and again, just like with Wizards Den, the curio part is in the fact that the text now is in French, which is both to pay homage to the artist Séverine Pinault, who is French, but probably also because this mythical place was thought to be placed in France. And so far, we have 8 of these pulled.
Thank you to Fowle Heroes for supplying us with Arthurian Legend boxes that we can open on the channel and also do giveaways to you guys out there. Also, a lot of the data that we're using for this video comes from Fowle Heroes, because he has the biggest single shop that we know, and if you are knitting singles, you need to check out his website. A very special artist joined us for Arthurian Legends, and that is Quinton Hoover. And he has a normal art piece with the Brother Knight, but if you're very lucky, you might actually pull a curio version of the Viven. And if you do, this art piece is by Quinton Hoover and it's absolutely gorgeous. So far, 10 of these curios have been pulled.
The next curio is Dosary Pool. The few side curios we have across all 3 sets. So the regular version, which is really cool and flavorful, is by Rodney Matthews. But there is also an old art version of this card with art by Marta Molina, and so far 5 have been pulled.
Next up is the Archimago. And this curio is a little bit elusive because you have to turn it around. And if you turn it around, instead of the normal avatar, which we should have on our avatar card, it says Spellbook. This might indicate that this powerful effect that Archimago has by banishing spells from the graveyard had at some point been intended for spell. We don't know, but at least turn your Archimagos around, because only 3 of these have been pulled so far.
So the next curio is by a new artist in Arthurian Legends, which is Heidi Talifer. This is really cool because Unladen Swallow doesn't have a regular card, but she did do the art for all of the other birds in the cycle of birds across all the 4 elements. And Unladen Swallow is of course also a reference to the Monty Python film The Quest for the Holy Grail. It is really fun, it is very flavorful and very easy to spot, so 11 have been found so far.
Next curio was the Weightless Squire. And this was sort of the card that made all the other squires become really scrutinized, because this little squire has the lands, the charge words inverted, and the charge is in capital letters, so it really stands out. And as I mentioned, this was also the card that made us think that we might have a cycle of squire curios in Arthurian Legends, and lo and behold, more of those are coming up. And so far, 5 of these nice little squires have been pulled.
The next curio is also a squire curio. It is Shameless Squire, and this guy also has some mirroring between the art and then the text box. As you can see on the curio version, the word drops is actually dropping in the text box. I really like that this mirroring is going on, and all the squire curios are really focused on the text changes that mirror the image, which is super cool. So far, we've seen 10 of these.
And of course we also found the last squire, and that is the Thankless Squire. On the normal version the text is lands, 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 mobile. But on the Curio version you have the lands, 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 and then underneath all the lands, very fitting for the card art itself, you have the word immobile. So he's, being pulled down by all the weight he's going to lift for his true and great knight. So far, 4 of these have been pulled.
So for a little while there, we thought that there might just only be 13 curios in Arthurian Legends, because there weren't any new found for a couple of days, and people started speculating, hey, maybe it's only going to be 13 in this one, it is a smaller set after all, and maybe there was something about the 13 treasures of Britain that was a reference to the fact that there would only be 13 curios. Some even said, hey, there's sometimes in the myth 12 knights around the table and then King Arthur. That would also make up 13. But lo and behold, we found another curio. This time around, we found the Toll Bridge. And this, I have to say, was a curio that I had been looking for and also expecting. This curio references, of course, an alpha curio, which is the bridge troll, because all of the trolls in alpha were in fact curios. So everybody who were in the game back in alpha was probably expecting, or at least thinking about, would there be a troll curio, and there is. So for this curio version, they removed the R, so it is no longer a troll bridge, but instead a toll bridge, where you have to pay something to cross the bridge. And so far, we've only seen 3 of those. So do be sure to check out if you have a toll bridge or a troll bridge.
So that was the 14 curios found so far, and a little word of warning. You need to be careful out there if you are going to invest in a curio. Do look around on the internet, do look at our Discord and see all of the curios found so far and how many have been pulled. If you found a curio out there that has not been confirmed in other places, you do need to be a little bit careful, because we have seen 2 instances of fake curios popping up. So before you buy, do look around. If something seems too good to be true, it just might be. A good rule of thumb with curios is the changes in the curio are always intentional. So if you see something out there that doesn't look very intentional, that might just be a big red flag.
So with the discovery of the toll bridge, the whole idea about the 13 curios was quickly scrapped. So instead, the entire community, and us as well, actually turned our focus to finding the last 4 curios that would make up 18 curios, just like we had in alpha and beta. But even though we're trying to see how we can find the last 4 curios, we just want to give a general reminder that we don't have any confirmation. It is only based on the fact that there were 18 curios in alpha and beta that we think there might be 4 more curios out there.
So even though it's speculation, we decided to go back and look at the data for all the alpha curios and beta curios to sort of guesstimate what kind of curios might pop up, what categories might not have been seen so far, and also what kind of rarities we might be looking for when we're trying to pinpoint the last remaining curios. Of course, all we have said so far is purely guesstimation, and it is based upon the presumption that the alpha and the beta editions curios might resemble the Arthurian Legends curios, but we don't know. But we do know that Erik Olafsson is an agent of chaos, and he just might want to shake things up so we do not get too comfortable in our assumption about what curios actually are supposed to be. But we are very excited to look for the last 4 curios, if they are actually there.
So do be sure to check out your ordinary slot of the pack very carefully, because that is the easiest way to determine whether or not you have a curio on your hands. If you want to see us crack a box of Arthurian Legends that was very special to us, check out the video right up there.
And with that being said, thank you for watching this video, and thank you to our YouTube channel members and our Patreon members for supporting us just a little extra. And if you are a patron or a YouTube channel member at the right tier, do keep an eye out for your mailbox, because a little something cool is coming from us to you.
We will see you in the next video.